Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from Jenny Card Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting tutorials and inspiration with all of you. I hope that you enjoy. Today I have a fun Chop It Up inspired project for you, cutting up some 12 by 12 paper pads. We're going to make a simple stationery set using 3 pieces of 12 by 12 pattern paper. This is going to be the easiest project and perfect for little gifts or even little additions to junk journals. So what I'm doing is flipping through a really old paper pad, and I'm looking for some designs that I think would be cute for little envelopes. So I've picked out a pattern that's going to be my sort of folder pocket, and then I've picked up 2 patterns that I'm going to create envelopes from. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and I'm just going to trim off the little strip off the top of these papers, just cutting them down to 12 by 12 inches. And this first pattern is what my folder is going to be made out of, and these other 2 patterns, the map and the sort of mail stamps, are going to be envelopes. So once I've got those cut down, I'm going to take the envelope patterns and I'm going to cut them down to 6 by 12 inch pieces. This is going to give us 2 envelopes per 12 by 12 sheet. So we're going to get a total of 4 envelopes. So I'm going to cut down the little mail stamped pattern paper. I'm going to cut that at 6 inches as well, giving me 2 pieces that measure 6 by 12. And I'm going to set those aside, and now we're going to work on the folder. I'm going to pop this into my scoreboard. I want my pattern to be upright, so I'm going to start with my pattern the way I want it to be, and I'm going to score at 6 inches. And then I'm going to rotate it 1 turn to the left and score at 8 inches. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and crease all of these folds. I want to fold the paper in, and then fold the little pocket up. And I'll use my bone folder to crease here, making sure I don't get any cracking. You can score your paper on the front and the back side if you want to avoid cracking. And then once those are scored, I'm going to turn this paper inside out. What I want to do is I want to make a little cut on that bottom piece from the bottom up to that score line. So I'm just going to round my corner here and then trim away the scissors. And what this is going to do, it's going to create a separation in the pocket, but the 2 pockets are going to be identical. So I have a little bit of a rough corner here. I'm just going to use my scissors to round it up to make it look nice and even. And then I'm going to flip up the bottom and you'll see what we did. We created 2 separate pockets with the paper still attached, and the pockets are even. So we won't have any bulk in the center when we're trying to close up this folder. So I'm just going to retrain my paper. I'm going to rescore it and put it back together. And here's our little folder. I want to apply some adhesive just to the 2 outside pieces here. These little bottom flaps, we're going to fold those up and adhere them down. So I'm just running a very thin line of adhesive here, and I'll close the pocket up and press everything in. And then that's going to be it. If you have double-sided paper, you can definitely use that, and then the inside won't be white like mine, but I'm fine with this. I like the way it looks. So I'm just going to press in that adhesive and then set my folder aside. You can decorate this, you can step this up, use punches and things to make it more fancy, round the corners on the entire pocket, put a sentiment or some journaling card on the front of this pocket. I'm just going to leave mine like this. Now we're going to go back to the scoreboard. I'm going to start scoring those envelopes. So I've got 4 pieces of my papers here, and I'm going to start by scoring across the 12-inch side at 1 inch, 5 inches, and 10 inches. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing. 1 inches, 5 inches, 10 inches. Now I do this, I score on the front and back and then back to the front again to make sure that my envelopes don't split or crack. So I get nice good score marks. So I'm confident that my envelope will look nice and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and crease all of the folds, and then I'll do that for all 4 of my envelopes. And once that's done, I'm going to grab some liquid adhesive and I'm going to adhere down that 1 inch flap. That's going to be turned in, so you're not going to see it. Once that little flap is glued down, then I'm going to continue running adhesive down both sides of the envelope, keeping as close to the edge as I can. And then I'll fold that bottom piece up and adhere everything together. And then that's it. Super simple. Nothing complicated about this. No complicated cutting or scoring measurements. A couple of scores, a little bit of glue. Then you've got these simple, neat little envelopes, and they'll fit perfectly inside of our little folder pocket. So I'm going to pop all 4 of my envelopes inside of the little pocket just to kind of see what it looks like. And I think it looks really cute. It's such a nice little gift. So the last thing that we're going to need is some cards to go inside of those envelopes. You could create postcards or note cards or something like that, but I just wanted to go super simple. I have already pre-cut and scored A2 size note cards in my drawer. Now they don't quite fit. They're just a little bit off. And so what I'm going to do is grab my trimmer and I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch off the bottom of these note cards. It saves me from cutting up new paper and scoring and whatnot. I just pulled out a couple of these note cards and I'm just going to trim off 1/4 inch from each side. Now, because my cardstock is thick and heavy, when I run it through my trimmer, it only cuts through one piece at a time. So I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off the bottom, flip it over, cut 1/4 inch off the other side, and then we've got these cute little note cards that will slide perfectly inside of our envelopes. Easy peasy. The simplest, cutest little stationery set that you'll ever make. 5 minutes is all it takes. Now, you could even step this up even further. You can decorate the inside of this folder. You can decorate the cards. You can decorate the envelopes. You could even put writing paper in here instead of cards. Whatever you want to do. The sky's the limit with this cute little project. So the last thing I'm going to do is grab a piece of baker's twine and I'm just going to tie a little bow to close up my folder. Again, this is something else that you can step up. You can add a magnet for a closure if you want to go that route. You can tie with pretty bow or lace or something like that, or even Velcro if you wanted. I like this simple method with a piece of baker's twine. So I'm fiddling with my bow here. I tie a cute little bow and voila! Perfect, cute little stationery gift. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate the support as always. I hope this video has inspired you to take a look at some of your 12 by 12 paper pads and get to chopping. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you like this content. I always have new ideas for chopping up your pattern paper and creating with products that you already have in your stash. Coming up on screen is a playlist full of 50 plus videos of my Chop It Up series, showing you 50 plus ways to chop up your cardstock and create fun projects with items that you probably already have in your stash. Thanks again for joining me. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!